The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy J Money, aka No Money, and I'm back here today with another video. This time it's not going to be featuring any battles. What we're going to be looking at is this asset update that was recently released by pokeminers. Look at all these beautiful Gen 6 Pokemon. We have a huge list to go down to. Let's go down through it quickly. So the very first Pokemon that you see right here is going to be a Spewpa. Now I am currently on Cerebi.net. And honestly, this has been like my #1 go-to Pokemon resource for any Pokemon game, and especially for Pokemon Go, not really, but for like previous Pokemon games, I've obviously checked this website out like a lot, and I'm surprised Cerebi has been on top of it as far as Pokemon Go goes. So you don't see the drop-down menus here, but I'm really gonna look for Spewpa. Actually, instead of looking for Spewpa, let's look for its evolution, which is gonna be Vivillon. It's gonna be the Butterfree of this generation. And I'm just going to scroll all the way down till I see Vivillon, which is right there. And as you can see, Vivillon is going to be a bug and flying type. 12 candy, 50 candy to evolve it. Now, all you collectors out there are going to go nuts for this thing, because look how many different patterns it has. There's a polar pattern, tundra pattern, continental pattern. These are probably going to be based off geological location. So you can say that there's a regional Vivillon for every single region possible. You're going to see like a million different regions. I remember when this Pokemon came out, when the X and Y came out, people were trading different types of patterns and forms everywhere. And it was a hot commodity for a good while because everyone wanted to collect every single pattern. Alright, let's move on to the moves. This is what we're here for the GBL content, for the viability. Is it going to be viable in Go Battle League? Let's take a look at its moveset right here. So, obviously, the typing of Bug and Flying, it's not the greatest defensively. It's going to have lots of weaknesses, especially to 4 times to Rock. It's going to be weak to Ice, which is a very common offensive move. Offensive typing, sorry. And it's going to have weaknesses to Fire as well. So, Electric. There's like 4 really strong typings right there offensively. But let's see if it has any viability. So, right now, we can take a look at the fast moves. Wow. Gust. Gust is a confusion clone. Generates 12 energy, does a lot of damage, and it's a 4-turn move. So like confusion and like Volt Switch, is a 4-turn move, so we gotta expect it very slow, but it generates energy pretty well, honestly. Bug Bite's not bad either. So technically, would you be rather running Bug Bite or Gust? Let's take a look and do the math. Gust is 4 turns for 12 energy. Bug Bite is a 1-turn move for 3 energy, so they're about the same energy gain wise. And I would say Gust is just a little bit better just because of its typing. Flying just hits a lot more offensively. Now let's just take a look at its charge moves. It has Bug Buzz, Aerial Ace, Energy Ball, and Hurricane. So obviously, we all know Aerial Ace is a decent coverage move for flying, but since we already have Gust as a flying move, I'd rather probably go with Bug Buzz and Energy Ball. Honestly, Bug Buzz is going to be a good coverage for dark types, for psychic types, for pure grass types, even though we already have Gust doing a lot of damage to it. And on top of that, we could possibly run Energy Ball for those sneaky water types, the rock types that it's weak to, and whatever ground types may come in our way. Really good against the Mud Boys too, so I think I might be running Gust and Bug Buzz on this thing. And if I really feel like it, I'd probably run Hurricane. So that is going to be Vivillon right there. That Pokeball pattern is so sick though. Like, I think that's the one I'm probably going to gun for. Maybe it's going to be a special event of some sort, but who knows. Alright, let's move on to the next Pokemon, which is going to be... I'm only going to be looking at the evolutions, by the way. Maybe I'll do a separate separate video for the pre-evos. For maybe like a little cup. You know what I mean? But let's take a look at Go-Goat now. And Go-Goat is in this menu right here. Go-Goat. Alright. Takes 50 candy to evolve. Go-Goat is a pure grass type. Now, when I was doing my initial research on this, I immediately said, wow, that moveset is insane. It's going to have Vine Whip as the fast move. Obviously, you don't want to run Zen Headbutt or Rock Smash unless they get some sort of move update. But as of right now, Vine Whip seems to be the move for it, right? Charge moves. You have Leaf Blade and Rock Slide. If you ask me, that's pretty much like Tangrowth, except Tangrowth has Power Whip, but in this case, Leaf Blade charges quick. You can get the Leaf Blade a lot quicker. You can stack it to almost 3, and its damage is absolutely 70 damage for a 35 energy move. Okay, sorry about that. 35 damage for 35 energy for a 70 damage move. I thought my music paused, so I tried to go back to it. But wow, that is absolutely insane to me. Honestly, I would say Go-Go is going to be replacing Tangrowths everywhere. The only difference is that Go-Go does not have access to Sludge Bomb, and that might have some sort of edge that Tangrowth has over it. But even then, like, you don't really see Tangrowth running Sludge Bomb too often. It's mostly Power Whip and Rock Slide. So if you see these in the wild, I would definitely try and go for it as much as possible. It's going to have a lot of play in Great League, in my opinion. It's going to have a lot of play in Ultra Premier for sure. And seeing that it gets to a max CP of, where was it? I thought it's at 3163. Right, 3163. And I don't even think that's level 50 either. These were all data mined from a while back, so everything is really up to change. It could change eventually. So this thing could have play in Masters. I mean, Swampert is everywhere in Masters, right? Master Premier. Swampert is everywhere, not as everywhere as other 2 leagues, but it's a definite possibility. That's pretty much the only thing it's going to be countering anyways. So maybe it could be a good possibility in Master Premier. Who knows? Next up, let's take a look at Pangoro, Mr. Panda Express himself. I know Jeff's gonna love this one because it's a bear. He loves them bear Pokemon. But anyways, Pangoro is a dark and fighting type. Very, very similar to Scrafty. I mean, the only similarities I have is basically the typing. But let's take a look at the moveset, which is really what's gonna set this thing apart. It has Snarl. If Scrafty got Snarl, that would have been crazy. Snarl Power Up Punch, come on. But this thing has Snarl, Close Combat, Night Slash, Iron Head, and Rock Slide. You can run like 5 different variations of this Pokemon. It's insane because obviously Snarl is probably the best move to go for here in this instance. I mean, you could obviously opt for Bullet Punch if you really wanted to as well, since it doesn't have counter. If you want like a 2-turn fast move instead of like 3 that Snarl is. But Close Combat, you can stack that and back to back and dip, right? Or you can just go for Night Slash boost if you really want to. I was talking to a few people about this earlier, and I think people are going to try and run Close Combat Rock Slide. Obviously, Rock Slide has good coverage for its flying type weakness, because it's fighting type, right? And potentially doing neutral damage to fairy types. Now, Iron Head is the most energy costing move that it has, but even then, it's not too bad to get to considering you have Snarl. And Iron Head could catch a fairy off guard if it could take a charm or 2, you know what I mean? So I think Pangoro is going to have a lot of play. Yeah, I think Pangoro is going to be a good one for this next wave of Pokemon that's going to be coming out soon. Hopefully they release them in a decent amount of waves. I don't want one Pokemon at a time. Come on, Niantic, you know what to do, man. Alright, next up is going to be the 3 sword Pokemon. We're going to see Honedge is the baby, not the baby, is the first Pokemon you're gonna see is Honedge, evolving into Doublade and eventually Aegislash. So let's go ahead and take a look at Aegislash. All right, this is the Pokemon everyone's probably gonna be wanting to get at a max. Whoa! So we can see right here. Let me see if I can move that there. Yeah, Blade Form Aegislash has a max CP of 2981. When Shield Form has max CP of 1803 non-best buddied. So, what does this mean? This means we might be seeing Aegislash Blade Form in Ultra Premier, in regular Ultra, maybe even in Masters. And then Shield Form is definitely going to be the Great League option here. But now let's go down a bit. Let's take a look at its moves, alright? Oh boy. Everyone expected Shadow Claw. Everybody wanted Shadow Claw on this thing. And honestly, I wanted Shadow Claw on this thing too. But we're going to have to opt with Psycho Cut here. And honestly, Cycle Cut's not a bad move either. It generates energy so quickly at 9. It's just like Thunder Shock and Mud Shot, right? Mud Shot. And that's good. Getting what, 9 energy per turn for 2 turns? That's really good. Cycle Cut is a really good move, fast move in general to generate that energy. It's just that it doesn't do that much damage. Now, let's take a look at the move set, right? It has Shadow Ball, Gyro Ball, and Flash Cannon. So I think the obvious choices here are probably going to be Shadow Ball, Gyro Ball, because Gyro Ball does a decent amount for 10 less energy than Flash Cannon does, and I'd rather just go for Gyro Ball instead. Now, I think if this were to get some sort of community day eventually, Shadow Claw better be the fast move that it gets. It has to be, because like I can't imagine a Doublade or maybe even an Aegislash without Shadow Claw on it in general. I mean, I used to run Shadow Sneak on it in the main series games, but still. This thing could potentially learn, I think, was it Sacred Sword? Yeah, I think it could learn Sacred Sword as well, which is like something only the black and white legendaries learn, which is like Virizion, Terrakion, and what's your name? Virizion, Terrakion, Cobalion. Because Secret Sword's already in the game, I believe, right? Sacred Sword? Not Secret Sword. Sacred Sword. It's already in the game, and I think Cobalion has access to it. Imagine if Aegislash got that. Because technically it could learn it in the main series games. I wouldn't be mad if they gave this to it either. You know what I mean? For the sake of Doublade, let's see if we can... There is no way Doublade's max CP is 2761. What? That's crazy. How long ago was this updated? Please tell me they update this every day, but I'm just going to believe it for now. Doublade can learn Cycle Cut, Fury Cutter, Iron Head, and Gyro Ball. So it got a little shafted on the charge moves there. I was really hoping to see Shadow Ball in this thing too. Maybe even Shadow Sneak at the very least, but no, we're not going to get it. It's all good though, because Doublade is 27. That's pretty crazy, honestly. It's really high for it. I did not expect it to be like that. All right, moving on. We have, I believe that is, this one's going to be Aromatisse. Spritzy and Aromatisse. Let's go ahead and look for Aromatisse right here. Boom. Aromatisse is a pure fairy type, so I think we all can assume it's just going to be learning Charm, but it also learns Charge Beam. Now, why in the world would you run Charge Beam, right? It's kind of like asking the same thing. Why would you run Bubble on Azumarill? Because they're the same energy for the same amount of turns. 11 energy for 3 turns. The only difference is that Bubble does more damage. Like, slightly more damage. Personally, I don't even think Charge Beam is that bad of a move. It's just that it gets outclassed by Thunder Shock and Volt Switch, so... I mean, considering it says Charge Beam, it might be a viable option just to gain energy faster over Charm. But obviously Charm is just so devastating most of the time that it's not bad to run either or, in my opinion. But I feel like the masses are definitely going to run Charm over Charge Beam on this one anyways. For charge moves, it gets Moonblast, Thunderbolt, Psychic, and Draining Kiss. Now you can see the energy requirements there. Thunderbolt, Psychic, and Draining Kiss are all the same. So essentially 5 charge beams could get you to one of them. And then obviously Moonblast is just the ultimate nuke, and then you have a chance to lower the attack too. So this one could go either way, honestly. I feel like this is definitely going to have some viability for sure. Maybe an Ultra Premier and Great League. But I think for the most part, it's just another standard Charmer. Alright, moving on to the next one. It's going to be Slurpuff, that cotton candy looking thing. Slurpuff. There you are. So Slurpuff, in the main series games, it had access to Flamethrower. Let me see what it gets. Yes, it gets Flamethrower. Beautiful. So this thing also gets Draining Kiss. And if you notice, both of them learn 55 energy moves. It's kind of interesting, right? Energy Ball, Flamethrower, and Draining Kiss. All while having... Ooh, but this doesn't get Charge Beam like Aromatisse does. It basically just gets Tackle and Charm. So I think the move here is just go Charm and run maybe Energy Ball, Flamethrower just for the sake of having coverage, right? Let me double check on this actually. I don't think Flamethrower is 55 energy, is it? Hold on, let me go to the charge move tab right here. Flamethrower is technically 55 energy. Wow. Okay. Completely forgot about that. For some reason I thought it was more. I thought it was like 60 or something. Anyways, this guy's probably just gonna stay as a charmer, energy ball, and flamethrower. Sorry about that. And scroll all the way down for some sort of coverage. Alright. Next up on the list, we're gonna have, ooh, this Pokemon is nasty. I kind of want to take a look at Inkay real quick, because Inkay is it pure psychic? I think it might be dark psychic. Inkay is dark psychic, so this thing could have potential play in Little Cup as an anti Bronzor, right? And we all know how annoying Bronzor was in Little Cup because it just so tanky. It's psychic and steel, and obviously we all know steel has like a million resistances. So let's take a look at the moveset. Ooh, peck and tackle. So not good fast moves, but the opportunity to have Night Slash on there on top of Psybeam. Yeah, maybe peck Night Slash spam if you can even spam it. Like 7 pecks to get to Night Slash. Maybe you can farm down a Cottony or something while getting charmed down. Okay, never mind. So Inkay is not that great at all. Let's take a look at Malamar, which is its evolution. Let's just click Malamar right here. And dark and psychic typing once again. So extremely weak to bug. Extremely weak to bug. So if you see a Galvantula, you gotta run. You gotta run, right? Or a Fury Cutter user in general. So Malamar, you get access to Psycho Cut. And once again, Psycho Cut, an extremely good fast move as far as generating energy. You're going to be able to get to, oh my lord, it can get Foul Play and Superpower. So we all know Superpower, definitely a popular move on Melmetal, Snorlax. I know Rhyperior gets Superpower too. I think I've seen that in previous seasons for Master Premier. But man, wow. So 5 Psycho Cuts to get to that Foul Play. And you can get to that superpower as well. Maybe you can land like back-to-back superpowers or something, or bait with a Foul Play, go for superpower after type of thing. So this thing's gonna be somewhat viable in my opinion. I think this thing's gonna be good, considering it's dark and psychic. So it's gonna be taking neutral from counter damage from fighters. This thing has a possibility of maybe becoming some sort of Obstagoon counter, double superpower in a row. But I think yes on Malamar for me. Next up, we're gonna have Barbaracle, which is that little thing right there. I honestly thought Barbaracle is one of the ugliest Pokemon ever designed, and I don't say that much about a lot of Pokemon. But look at this thing. Look at it. Just look at it. You are ugly. I am so sorry, but you are definitely one of the ugliest Pokemon I have ever seen. But it's a rock water type, so very similar to a lot of the fossil Pokemon. It's going to be learning Water Gun, Mud Slap, or Fury Cutter for the fast move. Now obviously here Mud Slap does not get same type attack bonus. Fury Cutter generates a lot of energy a lot quicker, but I feel like if they're going to be generating the same energy, let's see. I know Mud Slap is not a 1 second move. Mud Slap is definitely a 3-turn move. So I think Fury Cutter might be the move here. Yeah, I think it might be Fury Cutter to be the best move here. And then you're going to get Skull Bash, Cross Chop, Stone Edge, or Grass Knot. Wow. I'm surprised it doesn't get a water type fast move. Sorry, water type charge move. Or maybe, oh, I'm surprised I get Waterfall for a fast move. Oh well. But I think Cross Chop Bait is potential here. Great potential. And Stone Edge Nuke, unless you really want to go Skull Bash maybe. But considering its defenses, I don't think it's that like much of a defensive Pokemon. If we can see its stats somewhere. Oh, right there. Oh boy, this thing might be somewhat bulky. But it's double weak to grass, so not sure. It does have a max CP of 3024. This thing could be viable somehow, some way, maybe in Master Premier. Super spicy pick though. Obviously weak to Machamp and whatnot. But we're gonna see. We're gonna have to see. Cross Chop Stone Edge might be the move for this guy, and I'm gonna label this as a yes, viability wise. Alright, moving on to the next one, we're gonna see Skrelp and Dragalgi. Now this one was already hinted, or not hinted, but teased for the release, I believe sometime next week, for Rivals Week. And let's take a look at Dragalgi first, which is right there. So Dragalgi is a poison and dragon type. Honestly, what the hell? 400 candy to evolve this thing? Oh, hell nah. But anyways, Dragalgi, in my opinion, super unique typing. Obviously going to be weak to the confusions. And it's going to be weak, taking neutral from charms, which is pretty good in my opinion. Weak to mud slaps, earthquakes, bulldozes, and whatnot. But let's go ahead and take a look at its moveset. So, Water Gun, Acid, and Dragon Tail. Yikes. So, considering that Water Gun might be its best fast move, man, that is tough. That is so tough. Unless, I mean, Dragon Tail isn't bad. Honestly, Dragon Tail is not bad. It generates 10 energy, 3-turn move. It's kind of like Bubble, if anything. It's just that if you're going to be dealing super effective damage on something, it's going to be against another dragon. And most often than not, that other dragon will be running Dragon Breath. And you're going to be taking a lot of damage while you're barely charging up to your moves. So it's really a toss-up. You can run Dragon Tail for stab and, you know, charge a little bit quicker. But Water Gun might be the move here. And then for the moveset, it's Aqua Tail, Outrage, Gunk Shot, and Hydro Pump. It has great charge moves, honestly. It has really great charge moves. You got Aqua Tail bait. You have the opportunity to nuke with Outrage, Gunk Shot, or Hydro Pump. It's just that it doesn't have great fast moves to get to them at all. So it's just so sad to say that Dragalgi is not going to be viable at all, because I love this Pokemon. I thought it had so much potential, but looks like we're not going to be seeing it being used whatsoever, sadly. And plus 400 candy? What? How much a second charge move? 50,000. Okay, not that bad. Let's move on to Clauncher here. Clauncher is not that bad. Where are you? Where are you? Clawitzer, sorry. We're gonna move on to Clawitzer right here. It takes 50 candy to... Why does this only take 50, but the other one takes 400? It makes no sense. But fast move wise, Water Gun and Smackdown. Smackdown. Wow, it gets Smackdown. We all know Smackdown is a really good anti-flyer move. We see it on Bastiodon. We see it on... Oh, we see it on Tyranitar. It was a community day move. We also see it on Crustle. Some people ran it on Chestnut as well, so it's not uncommon to see Smackdown on a non-rock type, but Clauncher with Smackdown might be somewhat interesting because it generates energy very decently in my opinion, but it deals a lot of damage. And for its moves, for its charge moves, oh my lord, it gets Crab Hammer, Dark Pulse, wow, and it even has Ice Beam. So this thing definitely has coverage. It has a lot of coverage. If it somehow meets a Talonflame in the back and it has Smackdown, and you can farm it down, toss a Crab Hammer after, you even get a boost, like this thing is going to be absolutely insane. So in my opinion, this thing's going to have some sort of niche role on a team, and I would love to use a Clawitzer someday. I want to use a Clawitzer. You know, I love the design, that one arm claw, like, and the other one's all small. It's like we all know what he does with his right arm in his off time. But anyways, I'm just kidding. He's based off a pistol shrimp. I'm sure you've all seen that video of the pistol shrimp that shoots like bubbles out of its claw. Yeah, that's what it's based off of. I wasn't making any sexual innuendos with his right hand being bigger than his left. We're gonna move on to the next Pokemon on the list, which is going to be Helioptile. Let's move to Helioptile, which is right here. And that's the first Evo of the Pokemon right here, which is going to be Heliolisk. Sorry, I completely forgot about it. I blanked out. But Heliolisk is interesting because, like Pyroar being normal fire, in this generation for some reason they released another normal secondary typing with electric, which is Heliolisk. Now Heliolisk, let's take a look at its moveset right here. It can get quick attack, so a pretty good normal type fast move. Volt Switch, which is probably the best electric fast move out there, dealing good damage and generating crazy energy. And on top of that, gets Mud Slap. I guess if you can run it against other electric types, you can kind of catch it off guard with Mud Slap. What's its max CP? 2939? What? So this is going to be pretty viable in Ultra Premier as well, in my opinion. Okay, let's take a look at the charge moves here. This is very interesting because I have some sort of a charge move conspiracy going on here. Grass Knot, Thunderbolt, and Bulldoze. Okay, so if you're going to be generating 10 energy per Volt Switch, wow, Thunderbolt, it's going to have very nukey moves. For something that's not very defense weighted at all, you're going to need shields on this, and on top of that, you're going to be nuking moves with this thing. But let's take a look at this move right here. Parabolic Charge. Now, in my opinion, in the main games, Parabolic Charge, I think it... We can look it up, actually. Let me look it up. I know Parabolic Charge was like a... It wasn't a damaging move at all. It was just like... Parabolic Charge Pokemon. There we go. Parabolic Charge is an HP draining move. It did deal damage. What? I haven't seen that move ever in my life. No, I've seen it before. I just never really used it. Oh my god. So, okay. I personally think Parabolic Charge has absolutely zero play in PvP right now unless they somewhat give it a buff. Obviously, if they added other moves like Leech Life, if they added moves like Mega Drain, Giga Drain, Absorb, or something of that matter, they're all gonna have some similar moves. What if it dealt small damage, but essentially healed you the amount of damage you just dealt? Or maybe it did decent damage and then healed you about half of what you just did to that person. It's a possibility. They might add healing moves in Pokemon Go eventually. You'll never know what Niantic wants to do with these moves. So far, we've just seen attack debuffs, attack increases, defense debuffs, etc. But for now, let's keep an eye on Parabolic Charge. And maybe, just maybe, eventually it'll become something, right? So that's Heliolisk for you guys. Let's move on to the next one. Oh man, I love the design on this thing. We've all been wanting a Tyrannosaurus Rex Pokemon, right? And that's where Tyrantrum comes to play. Only 50 candy, that's not bad at all. 3,500 max CP. Obviously, this thing is going to be somewhat viable in Masters, in my opinion. But let's find out on the moveset. It learns Charm, Rock Throw, and Dragon Tail. Yikes. So, kind of shafted on the fast moves here. Once again, great charge moves, but fast moves really don't do this thing justice at all, sadly. Crunch is a good move, obviously. Stone Edge, Outrage, really good nuke moves, and Earthquake for coverage. Man, this thing has loaded charge moves, but too bad it gets shafted by its fast moves, so we're going to say no to Tyrantrum for now. Just for now. Maybe if it gets Smackdown, it would become a bit more viable. That's the only way I can think of. But man, look at this thing though. This thing is nice. Look at this fucking... Even Tyrant is like super dope looking. Everyone calls it Agumon when it first came out, right? Dragon Tail, Stomp, Ancient Power, and Dragon Claw. Not bad. Maybe I might run this for a Little Cup for fun. Just for fun. Just kidding, Little Cup is not fun. Aurorus is the next Pokemon in line, evolving from Amora at 50 candy, 3168 max CP. Oh, of course, you're you're a Weather Ball abuser. Powder Snow, Weather Ball, Ice. It does get Frost Breath, which deals a lot of damage, and Rock Throw as well, but we're not going to see those moves at all, because we're all going to know that Powder Snow is going to be the move here. On top of that, it gets Ancient Power, Blizzard, Thunderbolt, and Hyper Beam. Weather Ball, Ice, and quite possibly Hyper Beam or Thunderbolt. Choose your nuke, honestly. Thunderbolt might be good for its weakness to water. Neutral to steel types, which is double weak to. It's also double weak to fighting. And obviously has other weaknesses like ground, grass, water. But it covers its grass weakness with its ice moves anyway. So it's fine. I say yes. Obviously. Any Weather Ball abuser right now is going to have viability no matter what. Sadly. I hate that move. I hate that move so much. And there goes my cat doing something crazy. Alright. Next up, oh my god. We all know and we've all been waiting on this one for sure. And that is going to be Sylveon. Sylveon. Everyone has an EV ready for Sylveon. It's just that we don't know how to evolve this thing just yet. It might be a adventure task. It might be best buddy Eevee, or maybe some sort of friendship level with Eevee. Who knows? Because right now we're seeing different ways to evolve the evolutions, and obviously I think Sylveon's gonna have a unique way to evolve. I'm gonna say friendship level on top of a research task of some sort, maybe. But let's take a look at the movesets. Maybe that's what we're here for this video for, right? And we all knew this was going to get Charm. Obviously this might be the new king of charmers, because look at those stats, 200s across the board. This thing's gonna do good damage. It has decent bulk. This thing is gonna be the new Togekiss. We're gonna see this everywhere because Togekiss has a weakness to ice and rock. Sylveon does not. It does not share those weaknesses. So I think this is why everyone's getting ready for Sylveon for sure. And look at that max CP, 3470. Is that the most for any evolution? On top of that, oh man, this is absolutely insane. Charm, Last Resort, and quite possibly any one of these three moves. Probably go with new Moonblast though, to be honest. Even Draining Kiss if you want to like something a little bit more quicker, but it doesn't do that much damage. But you're doing a lot of damage with Charm either way, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, probably just go for Moonblast. Sylveon, absolute yes. Get yourself a Sylveon as soon as possible. Next up. Oh my goodness. You guys are going to love this thing for sure. The whole reason Pikachu Libre was even a thing was because of freaking Hawlucha, man. Hawlucha... Okay, I'm just kidding. Pikachu Libre came in, I think it came in Sun and Moon. But Hawlucha is definitely a reason to have one. You need to get one of these for sure, in my opinion. Even though it's very attack weighted and not very defense weighted whatsoever, this thing has really good moves. It just has really good moves. It has a wing attack, it has poison jab, and then for the charge moves, it has flying press. Look at that, it's 40 energy for 90 power. That is absolutely broken. It's basically Leaf Blade on steroids, and Leaf Blade is already on steroids, so it's basically Leaf Blade on crack times 2. Deal with it. And it also gets power up punch and sky attack. Like, what the, this guy is insane. You can literally run wing attack, sky attack, power up punch, and you'll have a good day. You know, you're just gonna have a lot of fun, honestly. It is a part fighting and flying, so it does share some weaknesses. It has Psychic as a weakness, Ice as a weakness, Electric as a weakness, Flying as a weakness, Fairy as a weakness, but it's okay, because this thing's going to be spamming moves left and right, and I'm definitely going to be searching hard for one of these. I'm going to be buddying it right away, earning all that candy, rare candying it, whatever. I'm going to go hard for this Hawlucha. Next up is going to be the Pikachu of Gen 6, the Pikachu of the Kalos region, and that's going to be the Dedenne. Where are you? Dedenne. There you are. Dedenne. So what makes Dedenne unique? It's part Fairy. It is electric and Fairy type, so it'll be taking neutral damage from... No, it's going to be taking resisted damage from Dragon type moves. So at a max CP of 2081, who knows what this is level 50, but you're basically going to be taking resisted damage from an Altaria while generating insane amounts of energy with Thundershock, while dealing super effective damage with Play Rough on Altaria. This is Altaria's worst nightmare right here, and then Discharge as well. Okay, this isn't Altaria's worst nightmare. It's probably Amoris. Aurorus. God, that stupid Brachiosaurus, whatever, Bronchiosaurus. But Dedenne, good. I think Dedenne is going to be real good. Thundershock generates energy real quick. You can get to Play Rough. You can nuke things. And then you have Discharge. You can get to it real quick as well. 5 Thundershocks for Discharge. And how many is it going to be? 7 maybe for Play Rough? 5 and 7? And those are pretty quick, not going to lie. I'm not even going to lie. So the Dedenne is going to be an absolute yes for me. Could probably be... This thing could probably take out a fighter. Maybe Machamp. But I say the Dedenne is a definite yes for sure. Next up, we have the pseudo-legendary of this region. And that is going to be Gudra. Where's Gudra? Gudra. Gotcha. Gudra. 25 to get to a Sligoo and 100 to get to Gudra. I want to talk about Gudra first real quick because Yes, a dragon type with dragon breath. Thank you. Another dragon type with dragon breath, right? But what are the moves that it can learn? It can learn Muddy Water. Yeah, not a great move at all, but you do have a chance to lower the opponent's attack. It's a good bait move in my opinion. It's not no Aqua Tail that does a decent amount of damage, but hey, if you're trying to lower their attack while baiting them, might as well use Muddy Water. And then it has a really good pool of nukes in Draco Meteor or Sludge Wave, and a Power Whip for somewhat coverage against maybe water types, rock types, ground types, etc. So overall, this thing's gonna be nuts. This thing, look at this attack stat of 220, the defense of 242. I know it's like hyping up Sylveon's stats earlier, but man, look at that, dude. This thing's gonna do a lot of damage while taking a lot of damage. So in my opinion, get yourself a Gudra when you have a chance. I'm glad this thing isn't 400 candidate to evolve, but damn, this thing is probably gonna max out at over 4,000 with level 52. So get yourselves a Gudra. This thing is nasty. And on top of that, it's hella cute. Why wouldn't you? I want to take a look at Sligoo really quickly, which is the middle evolution of this line. So it goes Gumi, then Sligoo, then Gudra. Oh man, it doesn't get Dragon Breath. It gets Water Gun, unfortunately, but has access to Sludge Wave, Water Pulse, Dragon Pulse. So I was thinking maybe we could probably use this for Great League at 1500, or maybe an Ultra Premier if it maxes out at 2300, right? And then there's Gumi, maxed out 1103 with Water Gun, Dragon Pulse, Sludge Wave, Water. Yeah, so these two are probably not going to be viable, but Gudra for sure is going to be somewhat in the picture. I'm going to get one just because I always want one. Last but not least are the three legendaries of X and Y. Let's start with Xerneas, which is going to be the fairy type legendary, the very first fairy type legendary to have ever existed in Xerneas. Alrighty then. Oh my god, this thing sucks. I'm not gonna be happy reading this one for sure. Tackle, Zen Headbutt, Moonblast, Mega Horn, Close Combat, Giga Impact. Why have they forsaken you? Why? Okay, let's move back to my normal thing here. Okay, so Xerneas gets an X for me. I am so sorry, but the fast moves are absolutely horrendous. I'll get it for the dex, but maybe for the candy eventually. I'm gonna rate it so hard I don't understand what I'm saying. Let's go to Yveltal now. Yveltal is gonna have much more play in my opinion because it's dark and flying. It's gonna be like a bulkier Darkrai in my opinion, but it does have more weaknesses with the flying, and it gets Snarl or Gust. Jesus Christ, those are absolutely insane fast moves. Let's take a look at its charge moves now. Holy, it gets Hurricane, Focus Blast, Dark Pulse, and Psychic and Hyper Beam. Yeah, you're gonna see this thing a lot in Open Masters, I believe. Only for the sake of it can counter Giratina absolutely well. It could probably counter Mewtwo if it's not running Ice Beam or Thunderbolt. And dude, it could even take out probably Melmetal and Metagross with Focus Blast. That attack stat is so fucking insane. 275? And the defense is not a joke either with its HP. It's going to have a lot of bulk. It's going to have a good amount of attack. Go crazy on Yveltal, guys. Please, go crazy for Yveltal. I'm not even kidding. This thing's going to be so crazy good. What's max CP? Okay, yeah, I think the CPs are completely off for this entire video, but it's kind of like, it's kind of like a median. Like, you got to have an open mind, you know what I mean? Have somewhat of an open mind with it. Let's take a look at Zygarde now, which is going to be the last Pokemon on this infographic of the asset update from Pokeminers. Zygarde, no idea how they will implement all the different forms of Zygarde. There's a 10% form, 50% form, which is its normal form, and then there's complete form. Not sure how this is going to go. We're probably just going to see this form for the most part until future events. We're going to get these forms eventually. But let's take a look at it. Trash. As far as I'm looking at, trash. Dragon Tail, Bite, Zen, Headbutt. If this thing learns Mud Shot in the main series games, this thing's gonna be super broken. Zygarde. I'm just gonna type in Mud Shot and see if it goes anything. Nope. Nope, I don't think it can learn Mud Shot. Not in the main series game at all. Moveset. Sword and Shield. Yep, I don't think yet. Maybe not. Who knows? But Dragon Tail, Bites, and Headbutt, Outrage, Earthquake, Crunch, Hyper Beam, and Bulldoze. Great charge moves. Not so good fast moves. It's gonna be a no for me, dog. So, as far as that infographic goes, that's going to be it. Vivillon, in my opinion, is a yes. Vivillon, yes. Go-Goat, obvious yes. Better Tangrowth, in my opinion. Pangoro, yes. Give me Panda Express. Aegislash, in whichever form, yes, for sure. And possibly give it a community day. Everyone wants that Blood Sword Honedge right there. And, oh my gosh, shiny Aegislash is beautiful. I'll tell you that. Give it Shadow Claw or give it Sacred Sword. I don't care. Make it better, please, Niantic. Make it better. Aromatisse and Slurpuff. Aromatisse has more play, in my opinion. Slurpuff, not as much. But they're both just going to be Charmers anyways. Malamar, yes. Psycho Cut spam to Foul Play, Close Combat. Give me that all day. Barbarical is going to be a no from me. I'm sorry, but I just really don't like it in general. Maybe if you can get to that Skull Bash, right? Dragalgi, unfortunately, no. Fast moves definitely need a good update. Clawitzer, yes. Smackdown to Crabhammer. Oh man, this thing's just gonna hit super hard. Heliolisk, Volt Switch, just having Volt Switch is already good for it, but being part normal makes it weak to counter. I'm gonna give it a maybe. We're definitely gonna see how it works, and they should update Parabolic Charge to give it some sort of play, some sort of debuff of some sort, right? Tyrantrum, sadly no good fast moves for it. Auroras, absolute yes. Any Weather Ball user gets an approval right away, and I hate Weather Ball users. Sylveon, definitely a yes. Probably the best evolution that's going to be out in game. Hawlucha, absolute yes. Dedenne, yes. Gudra, kind of yes. Xerneas, no. Yveltal, yes. And Zygarde, no. And obviously it says right here, costumes have not been added yet. So that's going to be the video for today, guys. I know it's kind of long, but I really wanted to go over it because not that many people are aware or familiar with the Kalos region. In my opinion, it's one of my favorite regions. It's probably second to Johto for me personally. It's just my opinion. Don't hate on me. But Kalos is a really great region for all these Pokemon. And X and Y was super memorable for me. So that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed this little infographic and this little discussion I have. Toss a like, toss a comment, do whatever you gotta do. This is your boy J Money of the Fight Club, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So peace.